Right, how's it going everyone? Video today on how not to train when you're in a dieting phase and you're trying to drop body fat. Now, again, got the idea for this video from Twitter. As I say, I always get messages, I always get people tagging me and things. And I always see this anyway, it's a common mistake I see. So, someone was at the end of a dieting phase and they were sending me a video of a 1 rep max deadlift attempt. So it's, first thing, it's like, why are you doing that? And I think there's a big misconception by people on how to train in a fat loss phase, and you need to understand the mechanisms of what are we trying to do with the training when we're in a fat loss phase, what's the number one goal, and smart ways to go about it. So I want to go over the 3 main mistakes that I see. So how not to train, and then what we can do, simple fixes just to improve your whole dieting experience. Okay, so first thing, no 1 rep max attempts. Okay, so why are you doing a 1 rep max attempt on a dieting phase? Ask yourself that. What does a 1 rep max attempt do? It showcases your strength and your neurological efficiency of a movement at this current stage in time. What does that do in order to try and maintain muscle mass? Absolutely nothing. If anything, it goes against that. Now, a 1 rep max or a set of 1, that isn't enough volume in order to maintain your muscle size. If anything, it's just, as I say, it's going to impede your recovery, because doing sets of 1 to 2, sets of 1 to 3, especially in a dieting phase, as I say, not enough volume, very neurologically demanding, so it's something that you want to avoid doing. Now, what is the point, what is the purpose of the training in the dieting phase? Right? We're trying to send a signal to the body to hang on to the muscle mass, hang on to the muscle tissue. Doing 1 rep maxes does not achieve this. As I say, it's a showcasing strength. What you need to be doing is spending the most of your time in that 5 to 10 rep range. Okay, training close to failure. You can sprinkle in some higher rep isolation work if you need, but just doing 1 rep max attempts, it's just pissing in the wind. You're just bringing a ton of extra fatigue. It's not actually contributing to maintaining muscle mass. Again, it's probably just you lifting with your ego a touch. Again, no 1 rep max attempts when you're in a dieting phase. This is just not the time to do it. It's just stupid. Okay, train smart with that 5 to 10 rep range. Number 2, just using high reps to burn calories. Now again, this is one of the big common things you see all the time, is that someone starts a dieting phase, they've been in a muscle building phase, they've been doing lots of heavier sets of 5 to 10, lots of heavy stuff, you know, in the good rep range, the sweet spot that we want to be. And then just because they switch it into a dieting phase, all of a sudden they start doing like sets of 15 plus, and everything is higher reps, everything is supersetted, really trying to get a burn and trying to burn extra calories. They think they're going to burn extra calories, it doesn't actually work like that. I think they must have got this from some old school 70s or 80s bodybuilder shite, where they were big proponents of higher rep stuff when in a dieting phase, but again, it's just completely wrong. When you're on a ton of drugs like they might have been in the 70s and 80s, you're going to get away with a lot of things when you're a natural lifter and you haven't got the genetics that maybe some of these have, or you're not pumping the drugs that they are. The training is a little bit different and you need to be smart about it. So again, what do we do? Don't just train high reps. Again, train in a 5 to 10 rep range. You want to train as if you're still trying to build muscle. When we switch from a muscle building phase to a dieting phase, your training shouldn't really change that much. It should maybe drop a touch of overall volume, but everything else is going to remain pretty similar in terms of your intensity and, you know, the rep ranges that you're going to be actually training. You're not going to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater just because you're going into a dieting phase. That's a big mistake that people make, and that's where they fuck up. Then what ends up happening, because you never build your muscle that way, when you go in a dieting phase and you start doing all these higher reps, good chance you're going to lose a little bit of muscle mass and strength, and you're going to, what I've seen a lot of people, what happens with them is they sort of get this stringy and skinny look because they've just completely changed their whole training from that 5 to 10 maintenance to start doing sets of 20 and for all of their work. And again, it's not a way you want to go about it. Stick to your 5 to 10 rep range. Just basically train the same way that you built your physique Third thing, now this is a big one, and again people are not aware of this fact that again, this is what I'm trying to argue with, is using exercises with a poor stimulus to fatigue ratio. So this means maybe things like conventional deadlifts, low bar squats, low bar wide stance squats, just trying to move the most amount of weight possible. Going back to this, the video and what I've seen people doing, the person was doing a 1 rep max attempt on a deadlift. So not only are you doing 1 rep maxes, you're also using an exercise which has got a very, very poor stimulus to fatigue ratio, and when you're in the dieting phase, that's just a double whammy of something that you probably don't want to do. So, poor exercises. Now what does stimulus to fatigue ratio mean? I've spoken about this before. So exercises with a poor stimulus to fatigue ratio, they're not going to give you the best stimulus, but they're going to give you a ton of fatigue on the joints, the nervous system, connective tissues. That's exactly what we want to avoid. So in the case of a conventional deadlift, you look at the stimulus that we get from a conventional deadlift. If we're trying to send a signal to the hamstrings, the glutes, the spinal erectors, if we're trying to send a signal for the muscle to hang around, well, there's better exercises for that, because if you look at a conventional deadlift, at no point in the movement are the prime movers of the glutes and hamstrings in a fully lengthened position, and that's what we're trying to look for if hypertrophy is the main goal. So again, with a conventional deadlift, we use all of this weight, we use a ton of extra weight that's not needed. So in terms of stimulus for the muscles, for them to hang around in a dieting phase, we don't really get the best stimulus, but we get a ton of fatigue, neurological fatigue, all that stuff from conventional deadlifts, which again, when we're in a dieting phase, that's what we want to avoid. What would be a better choice? Stiff leg deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts, good mornings, 45-degree back extensions, just to name a few examples. Okay, you see why? Look at a stiff leg deadlift, you fully lengthen the hamstrings, glutes under load, you can't use as much weight, ticks all the boxes for a very high stimulus, not as much fatigue. So that is an exercise with a high stimulus to fatigue ratio. Let's give an example of an upper body lift. Now let's say an exercise with a poor stimulus to fatigue ratio could be a very, very wide grip bench press with a massive arch. Okay, so you might not get much stimulus on the pecs, but it might give it a lot of fatigue on the nervous system, the joints, connective tissues. What's a better option? Maybe if it's something like an incline dumbbell press or a machine chest press, or even a close grip pause bench press. A couple of the exercises I've just given you there, you're going to get a very, very good stimulus on the pecs, the triceps, the delts, without all the added extra fatigue and the wear and tear on the joints that maybe a super wide grip, big arch bench might bring you. So again, you can make a couple of tweaks to your exercise selection. That's going to go a long way in the overall fatigue that your program creates when you're in a dieting phase. So again, if we avoid doing this stupid shit, all these three things, you're gonna set yourself up for a successful fat loss phase. Now this is what this is all about. I want you all to train smart. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. This is just stuff that's worked for me. It's worked for people many, many years before me. It's worked for my clients, and it will work for people in the future. You just gotta be smart about it. Gotta detach your ego from some of this stuff. Like again, 1 rep max attempts, it is just a little bit of a stroke of the ego. You gotta think to yourself, unless I'm a competitive powerlifter and I'm actually training for a meet, what purpose does a 1 rep max attempt have for you at any point in your training career? Never mind when you're deep into a dieting phase. So you just gotta use your brain, detach your ego, and train smart, because ultimately I want us to be doing this for a long time, and just doing stupid shit like this, it's going to beat you up more, going to increase the chance of injury, and just you're not going to get where you want to be. And we don't want any of that stuff. We want to optimise our time doing all this, so we might as well do it properly and not fuck about, mightn't we? Alright, so let me know what you think. Any questions, any comments, any videos you'd like me to make. As I say, just let me know, and I'm always coming up with videos like this, so just let me know, and I'll talk to you all soon.